Hi everybody, today I'm going to be setting up the Qiyi Thunderclap V3 M, so let's get right into the video. Okay, so before I set up this cube, I'm just going to make a couple announcements. The first one is that you may think that I have a new light or something, maybe a new background or a new camera, but I've actually started doing color grading, which means that it looks a little better and a little whiter. I'll show you how it looks color graded versus non-color graded. So here it is non-color graded. And as you can see, it does not look as good. So anyway, please comment down below your thoughts on that. And number two, I will be getting a microphone soon that should be coming maybe a couple days. So hopefully I will be able to use it on my next video and hopefully the sound will be a lot better. Okay, so I'm just going to do a before sound right now just so you can hear how it sounds. So yeah, it's quite loud. The corner cutting is honestly terrible right now. And this is basically the way it was out of the box, except I just did like maybe 10 to 15 solves. And yeah, it's pretty bad. But I think we can make this a lot better. So anyway, I'm just going to be showing you how to do it. It's going to be kind of a tutorial, kind of a time lapse. And yeah, so anyway, the first step we want to do is just break it down. In order to break it down, you just basically follow my tutorial, which I'll link right up there. This cube is going to be particularly hard because it's super tight. Anyway, I'm just gonna do that. So I know you can't see all the pieces, but I now have it broken down. The next step that I want to do is I need to go clean it. So I'm just going to use a towel, kind of wipe around all the pieces, like so here, everywhere. There's basically lubricant around the core. So anyway, now let me do that and let's get into the time lapse. Hey guys, so I've gotten everything cleaned off, and as you can see, I've taken the center caps off the core because I'm going to need them off for the next step. Yeah, these are all cleaned off. You really need to clean them off so that you don't have any factory lube when you put your own lube in. But anyway, now for the next step, what we're going to do is we're going to make sure it has even tensions. So you're going to need a screwdriver. You're just going to tighten each side with a certain amount. So like maybe you could screw it into maybe around like where you can only see it very small part of the screw and do it on every side, so that way at least you have even tensions. I'm just going to pick up metric and I'm just going to do it to make sure that this has completely even tensions. So anyway, now let me just go do that. Okay guys, so I ended up going with the round one kind of thing on the screw, and this is completely even. So anyway, I'm just going to get this back together, and if you want to figure out how to get it back together, I will be leaving a link for the tutorial in the description. But anyway, now let me just go get it back together. Okay guys, so I finally have this completely back together, and I just put the center caps back on, but the next thing we're going to do is turn all the sides and see if we hear any spring noise. So I'm turning the blue side, and I know that I hear some spring noise, so I'm just going to take the blue center cap off. I'm turning the red side, I'm not really hearing anything, so I'm not going to lubricate the springs on the red side. Turning the green side, not really hearing anything either. Turning the orange side, I just heard a slight spring noise, so I'm going to lubricate the orange spring too. Turning the white side, I heard a slight spring noise, so I'm going to lubricate the white spring. And those seem to be the only three sides that I've heard any spring noise on. So for this cube in particular, we can do a trick where you don't even have to take the spring out. So you're first going to need your lubricant, which I explain in this video up here. I will link in the description also. It's a setup tutorial for a 3x3. I'm using Speedcube Shop Weight 5. So anyway, in this cube in particular, you don't have to take it out because you can just lubricate the springs and the screw like this. So basically you just kind of go anywhere where you can see and make sure to go kind of like right here too. So I just have to do it for these three sides, so let me just go time lapse it. Okay, so now that I've done that, if you just solve it, spring noise will just go away, so we don't really need to break it in. Just put the center caps on, it will just go away if you solve. Okay, so we're finally on to the last part, which is lubing. So this feels pretty dry, but it also feels pretty fast. So I think I'm just probably going to use some slowing lube and probably Mystic and possibly Martian, but probably not. So 3 lubes I think I'm going to use are Mystic, Controlius, and Silk. And I also will probably use weight 5 just to get it slow before I put these other lubes in. So for weight 5, I'm just going to put a couple drops right here. It doesn't really matter where you put it in the cube since it's a 3x3, it will spread. Just going to put a couple drops around here. So now that I've gotten a couple drops, I'm just going to do 1 or 2 solves. Okay, so I've done 1 solve, which seems to be enough to kind of break this in. It is already feeling better, but I think I'm going to add some Mystic just to get it a bit quieter since it is quite loud right now. Okay, so again, I'm just going to put a couple drops here. Okay, so again, I've done 1 solve and it's feeling pretty nice, but it needs to have a bit more resistance since it's super fast and the magnets are very weak. So I think I'm going to try adding some Silk and maybe some Cosmos, but we'll see. Just like with the other lubes, I'm just going to apply some. I'm just going to put it on the other side this time just so it maybe spreads a little more evenly around the cube. That should be good. And now let me just do 1 or 2 solves. Okay, so this feels pretty good, but I think it needs to be slowed down slightly more. So I think I'm just going to add like 1 or 2 drops of Cosmos. That should be good enough. And anyway, now let me just do 1 or 2 solves. Okay, so I think I've done enough solves. And yeah, this does feel really nice. I really do like this cube. And anyway, now let me just do a sound test. So I'm going to have to break this cube in more, but I actually really do like it. It definitely could become my main because it just has a super nice feeling. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe and see everybody later!